Societal giants. But what if these historical figures held the key to revolutionizing modern business practices? Today, we're exploring how lessons from Nelson Mandela to Steve Jobs can transform our approach to leadership and innovation.
Oh, that's an intriguing angle. I'm curious to see how these historical figures' experiences can be applied to today's fast paced business world.
Well, let's start with Nelson Mandela. His story of resilience and forgiveness after 27 years in prison is not just inspiring, it's a masterclass in leadership. Imagine if CEOs approached conflicts with that level of grace and long term vision.
That's an interesting perspective. How might that translate to, say, handling a PR crisis or a failed product launch?
Great question. It's about maintaining focus on long term goals rather than getting bogged down by short term setbacks. For instance, when Apple faced the iPhone 4 antenna gate controversy in 2010, Jobs initially dismissed the problem. But then he course corrected, offering free cases and maintaining customer loyalty. It's that kind of resilience and adaptability that can make or break a company.
That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of leadership styles, what about Mahatma Gandhi? His approach was quite different from many business leaders we see today.
Absolutely. Gandhi's principle of nonviolent resistance, or satyagraha, led India to independence. But in the business world, we can interpret this as ethical leadership and leading by example. You know, a 2021 Edelman Trust Barometer report showed that 86% of employees expect CEOs to publicly speak out on societal issues. It's about walking the talk.
So, how might that look in practice for a modern CEO?
Well, take Patagonia's founder, Yvon Chouinard. He recently gave away his $3 billion company to fight climate change. That's an extreme example, but it shows a leader whose actions align perfectly with his company's mission. It's about creating a culture where actions speak louder than words.
That's fascinating. Now, when we think about visionary leadership, Martin Luther King Jr. comes to mind. How can his approach inform business strategy?
King's I Have a Dream speech is a perfect example of how a clear, compelling vision can inspire action. In the business world, leaders who can articulate a strong vision and inspire their teams to work towards common goals often drive innovation. Take Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, his vision of sustainable energy and space exploration has pushed entire industries forward.
That's true. But not every leader can be an Elon Musk. What about someone like Albert Einstein? His contributions were more cerebral.
Right, Einstein's approach reminds us of the importance of curiosity and continuous learning. In today's rapidly changing business landscape, this is crucial. Companies that foster a culture of learning often outperform their peers. For instance, Microsoft under Satya Nadella has embraced a growth mindset culture, contributing to its market cap growing from $300 billion to over $2 trillion in just 7 years.
Wow, those are some impressive numbers. Now, speaking of innovation, we can't ignore Steve Jobs. His impact on technology is undeniable.
Absolutely. Jobs' relentless pursuit of excellence and innovation changed the world. But what's often overlooked is his ability to anticipate and create consumer needs. As he famously said, people don't know what they want until you show it to them. This approach led Apple to create entirely new product categories like the iPad, which now generates over $30 billion in annual revenue.
That's a great point. It's not just about meeting current demands, but shaping future ones. Now, let's shift gears a bit. How about someone like Oprah Winfrey? Her approach seems quite different from tech innovators.
You're right. Oprah's success is rooted in empathy and creating platforms for others. In the business world, this translates to understanding and prioritizing customer needs. Look at companies like Airbnb or Uber. They succeeded by deeply understanding customer pain points and creating solutions. Empathy driven design is becoming a crucial competitive advantage.
That's interesting. So, how can businesses practically incorporate these values?
Well, it starts with listening. Companies can use tools like Net Promoter Score, NPS, to gauge customer satisfaction, but it goes beyond that. It's about creating a culture where every employee is attuned to customer needs. Amazon, for instance, leaves an empty chair in meetings to represent the customer, ensuring their perspective is always considered.
That's a clever approach. Now, switching to finance, what can we learn from Warren Buffett?
Buffett's approach teaches us the value of patience and long term thinking. In an era of quarterly reports and short term gains, his strategy of holding investments for decades stands out. Companies that prioritize long term value creation over short term profits often perform better. A McKinsey study found that companies with a long term view outperformed their peers with 47% higher revenue growth over a 15-year period.
Those are some compelling statistics. But how can businesses balance long term thinking with the pressure for immediate results?
It's about setting the right metrics and incentives. Instead of just quarterly profits, companies can focus on customer lifetime value, employee satisfaction, and innovation pipelines. Take Amazon, they were willing to forego profits for years to build market share and infrastructure. Now they're reaping the benefits of that long term strategy.
That makes sense. Now, let's talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her impact on the legal system is clear, but how does that translate to business?
Ginsburg's legacy teaches us about persistence and the importance of diversity and inclusion in decision making. In business, diverse teams have been shown to make better decisions and drive innovation. A Boston Consulting Group study found that companies with more diverse management teams have 19% higher innovation revenues.
Those are impressive numbers. So, how can businesses practically implement these lessons?
It's about creating inclusive cultures and diverse pipelines. Companies like Salesforce have made public commitments to diversity and regularly publish their progress. But it's not just about numbers, it's about creating an environment where diverse perspectives are valued and heard.
That's a crucial point. Now, as we wrap up, what do you think is the overarching lesson from all these societal giants?
I think the key takeaway is that great leadership, whether in politics, science, or business, is about more than just profits or power. It's about vision, integrity, empathy, and a commitment to making a positive impact. These leaders changed the world not just through their actions, but through their ideas and the way they inspired others.
Well said. It's a reminder that in business, as in life, success is about more than just the bottom line.
Exactly. And on that note, we'll wrap up today's episode of Gen FM. Remember, listeners, by applying these lessons in our businesses and careers, we can all drive positive change in our own spheres of influence. Until next time, keep innovating, keep learning, and keep striving to make a difference.